If the Clarity Quest works so well, why are you still part of it?
The Clarity Quest has changed my life completely.
It cracked open my mind.
It gave me a way to see my life as more of an adventure.
The quest has changed my mind completely to what do I want?
The biggest impact on me is that I'm only responsible for myself.
When I go for what I want, everybody in my life will benefit.
It really helps me keep myself accountable.
The quest helped me to find the courage to step out of my comfort zone.
My family deserves that I stay in the Clarity Quest.
This is the first time I'm hosting an open day about the Clarity Quest to let some more people peek inside and learn what it's all about. Let me share with you a little bit about the Clarity Quest. And I'm going to try and explain why it was designed and what it aims to do. So it's aimed at two groups of people, really. Either you feel like, I'm not sure which direction I should go next in my life. I'm not sure what I want. Maybe it's a specific career move you want to make and you're pulled in different directions. Maybe it's a business that you're trying to get off the ground, but you've got 10 different ideas and you are pulled in all these different directions, which means you're not really making progress, right? So what happens is you do the following. You've got two options. You're wondering, which one should I do? And maybe today you feel like, you know what, I'm going to move towards this one. And then you hit a big obstacle. And you're like, maybe this is not a thing. I've got some new ideas about option 2. And you start moving that way until you hit another obstacle. And then you realize, you know what, it's neither one of these. I actually want to do this thing. And then you start moving toward that thing. And the same process repeats over and over again, which keeps you stuck and which keeps you wasting energy and causes you to lose momentum. So what the Clarity Quest aims to achieve is help you know exactly what that is. So excuse my drawing, that's supposed to be an anchor. Helps you create a future anchor. Please, no laughing at the drawings. My wife's the artist, not me. Helps you create a future anchor so you know exactly what you want. So at the end of these 7 weeks, it'll be very, very hard for you to deny what you want, because the program and process is designed in a way to gradually narrow it down for you, which is a hard process. Complicated process made very simple and very easy because it's broken into little steps, which you also will be taking with some other people that will be on this quest with you. Okay. I also wanted to share a little bit of my story with you. I'm not coming to you as someone that's a guru and has all the answers or anything like that. Actually, this is me with hair. That's not a hat. That's my actual hair. I've become much more open-minded since then. But this is May 2020. And if you follow me on Instagram or wherever, if you scroll down far enough, you'll find this video. This video is me describing how stuck I feel, because I see all of these people visiting my website, but it's not really converting. I'm not able to make those people clients. And I talk about how sad it is and frustrating it is for me to know that so many people find my website, but don't take action. So maybe 50% of them, let's say 80% of them, decide to work with someone else. What about the other people who don't take action at all and remain stuck in that little cycle that I just explained to you over and over again? So I was exactly there. I wanted to have an online program that helps more people. I wanted to be able to work in groups online. And I wanted to reach more people with what I was offering because I could see that it was working. But I did not realize that I myself needed to go through a major transformation first. So in this whole process, I realized exactly what my limiting beliefs were, what were the things that I believe that kept me stuck and repeating the same cycle. Exactly how I explained to you. Well, maybe I should do this and then stop. No, let me do this and then stop. Back and forth. And then the end, I had nothing to show for all my effort. So in June, I launched the very first version of the Clarity Quest. And I sent out an email to my existing clients saying, I've got 10 spots. I want to do this program for free and test it.
Ek moet nog 'n fietser ry. Maar
Please remember to stay muted. And if you are on the call, please be on the call. If you would rather be on the phone, be on the phone. All right. We will remove you because it's distracting. So I decided to create this and test it with 10 people. Mariki van Zyl, which you'll meet soon, was part of that very first group. And Etienne was part of the second group that I took through this process. But even in that, I realized that I was missing out on certain things and not able to deliver certain things because I did not know how. So I found a program that did exactly what I needed, a coach that could guide me and help me create this thing that I was dreaming of, this future anchor that I'm talking about that can help me. But it was $10,000 US. You can't see it there now. So I had to sell this bucky, which I still miss, to be able to afford that. And it was 176,000 Rand for that program. So I signed up for that program and got challenged a lot. That guy challenged the shit out of me, to be frank. And I realized exactly where I was stopping myself, blocking myself, going into the same loop, justifying certain behaviors that kept me stuck, and worked through a lot of that. So I'm sharing this with you today to tell you, it's not like I'm a person with all the answers. I'm just someone that's been through a very difficult process, that's learned a lot by making mistakes, but also learned a lot from other coaches and people that gave me input. So if you feel stuck in a certain way, you feel like you've got more potential that you are currently put out there, that's what the quest is designed to help you achieve. All right. So now I'm going to introduce the 4 mentors that will be part of this program and which will be assigned to each little group of 4. And I asked them to prepare like just 2 minutes sharing their story about joining the quest. Why? Because maybe you identify with one of them and you can hear your own story within one of these stories. This is Erna Slabbert. Thank you for being willing to support other people on their journey and volunteering your time to be here and also be part of the 7-week process. So please share.
Okay, so I met Francois through a good friend of mine, and he bought me 3 sessions with Francois. It was actually in that little room that you showed there in the beginning.
That old
your previous office.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did I have hair?
Yeah. So say again?
Did I have hair?
Yeah, I think so. I can't remember. I think it was at the beginning of 2021. So yeah, I had a few sessions there, and it was quite a while before I started doing the Clarity Quest. But right from the start, while working with Francois through a few things, I realized that I myself had played a huge part in my marriage not working out. So that was a big realization. Obviously, people go to see therapists and with an issue, and at at that stage, my marriage was not doing good. So, but it made me realize what my part was, and it gave me an immense amount of compassion for my ex, and as well as the courage to apologize to him and adjust my behavior towards the end of my marriage, which helped it a lot. And then I started doing the clarity quest. I also had to go to a fixed investment and get some money out of that to do the clarity quest. And yeah, the lesson that I learned in the clarity quest, I think ever since then, that has had the biggest impact on me, is that I'm only responsible for myself. I cannot change other people's thoughts or behaviors, beliefs and emotions. And that has also saved me a lot of frustration in the working place as well as in my relationships ever since. Yeah, I'm still at the moment practicing mindfully disappointing people to avoid disappointing myself.
Is a concept you will
that's a
learn about
working.
in the quest. Mindfully
Yeah.
disappointing people.
Yeah. So the bottom line is intentionally following and implementing the clarity quest in my life has really, I wrote here, it cracked open my mind, because I had to be cracked open to the enlightenment and the relief that positive change can bring.
Thanks, Erna. Now I'll introduce you to Mariki van Sail, which, like I said, was part of the very first version of the Clarity Quest.
The Clarity Quest has changed my life completely. In a nutshell, the quest helped me to find the courage to step out of my comfort zone, my home office, and being in my own little box, and share my big dream after putting it off for many, many years. I've launched my unique program for people with dyslexia and dyscalculia. Thank you, Coach. You told me already, June 2020, energy, focus, the whole brain approach. I have learned to be curious about my health and ask questions. And in such a way, I have more energy and therefore more momentum in the direction of my big dream. I've learned to put the focus on myself, how to set boundaries. The boundaries are to be healthy, selfish. And the result is that everyone around me benefits. I experience the quest as a safe space to get clarity about my career, my health, my relationships, with the emphasis on the focus of myself, the relationship with myself. That was the starting point.
Thank you, Mariki. Thank you. It touched me so deeply to see how well you prepared for this, to share your story. Thank you for doing that. All right. Next is Etienne. There you go. Etienne Mostert, also known as Mossie, affectionately.
Transformed into Morsi after the Clarity Quest. Hi, everyone. So my journey with the Clarity Quest also started in 2020. And if you recall, 2020 was very much a disruptive year for everyone. So it was a good time for me to take stock of my life and rethink a lot of things. And what I realized was that I was somebody who was good at performing, but maybe not necessarily always choosing the right goals to pursue that would really provide growth in my life. So I had a lot of tangible and abstract ideas, and I would tackle them and I would feel good about it, but it didn't really give me that traction of where I needed to grow. What I needed to do was to actually step out of my comfort zone and challenge myself. And so that's really what the Clarity Quest helped me to define that direction. It gave me a way to see my life as more of an adventure, to see it as more of an expansive opportunity. And the reason I continued was that it really helps me keep myself accountable for my personal growth and my journey, and to take stock of the direction that I'm taking. And it has been an exciting journey. But with so many of these things, you know that you're going to be pushed out of your little bubble, and it's going to be difficult at times. And in the same way in which Francois sort of demonstrated, where you're going to hit obstacles, those are often the way in which you need to go. So it's definitely been good for me to have that connection with this community and to help me just overcome those. So subsequently, I would say I've also improved my relationship with myself. I've been able to prioritize myself. I've been able to set healthier boundaries. And I've just been able to really be a lot more expansive and embracing opportunities in my life. So that's my story.
Thanks, Etienne. Thank you very much. I've got a question for all of the mentors. I mean, if the Clarity Quest works so well, why are you still part of it? Isn't that evidence that it doesn't really work?
I can start since I'm in the spotlight.
I'll just put you on the spot.
So I think it's one of those things, the more you learn, the more there is to know. You change for me, I changed through the process, and there's these avenues that I needed to explore. So it's like, you know, these challenges and working through them only become a reality once they start integrating into your life and once you start shifting things. And then, of course, you'll find new boundaries, you'll find new areas to grow in. So that's why I continued.
Yeah. Thank you. I've experienced the same thing. Just as soon as you grow into some potential, you look over the fence and you're like, oh, there's more that I didn't even realize was there.
Yeah.
Leandre did some coaching and therapy. It's been very powerful. And now you need someone to coach you and support you. So you understand the power of coaching already. Thanks for being here, Leandre. Arna.
What I've experienced is that what Etienne says is the more you learn, the more you want to practice what you've learned. You want to implement it in your life. And I believe part of the process, you're always going to be in the process. You're always going to be, you're never going to reach perfect. You're never going to reach the end. And for me, the thing that's very valuable in continuing with the Clarity Quest is the support of the group. Like Mariki said, the safe space. We are all humans. We all have days that we don't feel that good, but this group is so amazing, and the platform, I feel like home every time that I log in. So it's just the space is so comforting to be.
Thanks. Thank you for sharing that. Mariki, why are you still in this process?
Because it's an ongoing process. It's a never-ending story. It's like after every Thursday morning, it's again, what can I own more? What next small little step can I go? Can I take? Moving in the direction, career, health, relationships.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mariki. This is exactly this open day, and all the marketing for this open day before today is part of my growth process, as the team knows. Something that I've been thinking of a lot, and thinking of how can I help people who start the quest gain momentum and stay in the process better, because about 50% of the people who joined the quest fizzled out, and I wanted to address that. So this is why I thought about an open day and starting people off on the same spot at the same time, working through it. Okay, Mariki, also known as Mariachi.
So my internet is unstable. I am not, but my internet is. So if I freeze, just move along.
I also see in the chat, so you said you are like what?
Solar panel without an
inverter.
Nothing. If I fall out of the process, then I kind of lose focus and energy. Yes, so
I remember.
Oh, thank you, David. My name is changed to Mariachi Smith. I see.
There you go.
So I would say also the value of staying in the quest is the longer I stay in the quest, two things happen. My self-development comes from a place of self-love, not self-loathing. So it's not like I'm always striving to be a better version of myself because I hate this one. I
Sure.
learned to love myself more. And while loving myself more, I'm in a good space to challenge myself to become a better or an upgraded or another further version of myself. So maybe that's my introductory comment on your last question. And while I'm in the spotlight, I can also share what the quest has meant for me. So I would say before I joined the quest, I've shared this in the quest, but my metaphor is it was like I was on a boat. My life is the boat and I'm on it. But if a wind comes from this side, then I drift that way. And if a wind comes from this side, then I drift that way. And if somebody says, we need you to help here, then I help there. And if somebody says, I need your help here, then I help there. And my thought process was, I need to do what I can do. And the quest has changed that script in my mind to
because I
not
can do
find
it, I
my-
have to do it. That.
yeah. And the quest has changed, or the first bit of the quest, if you signed up today, the bit that you will be working on in the few weeks has changed my mind completely to what do I want? Not what can I? What do I want? And since or defining that and then becoming the person who can get that, I feel like I have a steering wheel on that boat, and I can decide to say no and what do I want to pursue, not what can do everything that can be done, but pursue that I want to pursue. And then I just want to touch on the three. So there's three things that you will deliberately, or four, let's say, chapters that you will deliberately work through in the quest, although there's a lot more. These are the ones that I just want to focus on. So the one is this deciding what you want, and then deciding who you have to become to get what you want. And then the second thing for me was going through that bit of realizing what I can take responsibility for and what I have to let go. And especially as a mother with 3 kids, for me, that was a line, sometimes taking responsibility for stuff in their lives and when to stand back. For me, that was a very insightful bit of the extended clarity quest. And then the other big chapter that really made an impact for me was realizing what are these voices in my head, what are the voices and kind of the playlists going on in my head that I've come to assume as truths. But when I challenged these playlists, I realized they were stories made up by me to give meaning or make sense of the world, or give myself excuses for not having done certain things. And the quest challenged those beliefs in myself. And once I challenged them, I could decide what's the playlist that I want to play to serve me, to become who I want to be. And then the final one of the extended quest, like the final chapter in my mind, is defining your big dream and then getting practical on how to go for it, how to actually physically, what do I pack into my 24 hours to get what I want and to become who I want to be. And my final sentence, and it's more than what you asked for, Francois, so sorry, but my final sentence is, as a mother, as a wife, as somebody who gave up her career to be with a family for a while, for me, one of the biggest realizations was when I go for what I want, everybody in my life that matters will benefit. And to me, that was one of the, it's not selfish to join the time from work. I'm doing my boss a favor, I'm doing my colleagues a favor, I'm doing my husband a favor, I'm doing my friends a favor. My family deserves that I stay in the clarity quest.
I love that. I love it. Carolee says she can totally relate to you. Thank you. Thank you very much. And now you are also coaching people.
Yeah. So the very first question, if you join, will be, what do you want? And that it took me about 3 months to answer that question. Although it could have been sooner, I think it was my voices keeping me back and being a bit scared. But once I answered that question, I realized, I think I'm joining the Clarity Quest because I want to copy from Francois, and I asked him, can I deliberately train with you? So that's instead of stealing from you.
Yeah, so
I'm
that was
training
also
with
part
you.
of the growth for me
Yes.
to train the first Clarity Quest coach. Well done, Mariki. If you are listening to this and have listened up to now and you're like, doesn't sound like something for me, awesome. Please leave. I don't want to waste any more of your time. If it's not for you, it's not for you, then you can go. Won't be a problem. Just drop off the call and go do something else. Okay, here's a question. Great. Ask questions. Some practical question. What do you specifically cover in weekly 8 to 9 a.m. sessions? What if I can't attend a session? Great, thank you. So I want to guarantee this program very radically. So if you attend every session, if you complete every step, and by the end of the 7 weeks, you say to me, wasn't really what I expected, wasn't life-changing, you will get your money back. But you have to attend every session and complete every step. Why? Because they build on one another. So it's a massive commitment. So we are talking about your life. We're talking about the direction of your life. And what this aims at doing is transform you into the kind of person that knows how to get what you want. That's very valuable. That's why the commitment is so high. If you miss one session, that guarantee falls away. If you know, I'm going to miss some of it, don't even sign up. Then it's not for you. It's a high level commitment thing. You have to be there every week. I will be there every week. I want you to be there every week. Otherwise, it's not going to work. It's not going to have the impact that it can have. So if you do all of that and in the end you feel not really that great, fine. Then it wasn't for you and you gave it your best and I gave it my best and it didn't work. That's fine. I want you to feel happy at the end of it. You feel like, yes, I'm on the right track. Only then will you have the opportunity, by the way, to join the bigger group and the bigger process. So this is also kind of like a interview process for people who want to join the bigger program. All right. So that's the level of commitment, Leandre, in terms of that. What will I cover? I will guide, I call it upgrading your answers. So you'll get specific questions. So in the program, it's not this massive info dump. You can go read books, you can go watch podcasts and whatever to get information. This is not about information. This is about transformation. So you'll have to answer questions. That's simple, but the answers that you generate are very powerful. So once you generate those answers, I will show you how to upgrade those answers. So I call it upgrading your answers, upgrading it to a level that it serves you better, that it challenges you and shapes you into becoming the person you need to become in order for you to get what you want. So that's what we will do in the sessions. Is a Clarity Quest mainly with the mentors and not, no, it's with me. Every Tuesday I will be there, but they are there for extra support because they've been through the process. They can identify with some of the stumbling blocks you will have. They will know exactly where you are, which question you have to wrestle with. So they are there for extra support for you. Ek wil baie graag deel wees van die quest. I just have one slight hurdle, which I promise isn't an excuse, maar ek skiet voltyds op Suidooster, die CP, en my tye is van 7:30 in die oggend. Nie noodwendig elke week nie, maar ek geen idee. Okay, Natasha, e-mail my, dan kan ons praat oor 'n moontlike ander opsie vir jou. Ja, jy gaan by die groepsessies moet wees om te kan benefit. So there's not an option where you skip that, unfortunately. So to clarify, nice. Weekly sessions take on the form of group coaching. Yes, correct. But as you saw with my little video that I sent you at the end of the questionnaire, if I go through your answers, because you will put them on a similar platform or the same platform in a similar way, I will be able to send you a short video to say, okay, look at this, tweak this, even before the session every now and then. So yes, group coaching. Yes, I will have another opportunity next school term. So I want to align it with the school term. So there will be another group launching. Looking at Francois and Mossi. Does the Clarity Quest make guys go bald? Yes, it's a requirement. Otherwise, I feel intimidated by your hair. So yes, you'll have to shave. But I only reveal that in week 3. I like the sense of humor. Okay, what is your expectation of Clarity Questers? Well, to do every step, complete every step, do their work on time, and show up for every coaching session. That's my expectation. Commit fully to the process. So set aside time to do the work on your own, and set aside the Tuesday mornings to be at the sessions. All right, and what does the larger program entail once this first step is completed? I'll have to tell you at the end of it. It's part 3 to 4 that Mariki touched on, which is that group has a coaching session on Thursday mornings, but it's more self-guided in terms of, it's not like you get every step week by week. The program is open, and if you accelerate a little bit faster through the process, that's good. If you get stuck in one stage, that's also fine. Maybe it'll take 2 or 3 weeks of coaching for you to break through to that specific next thing. So that's what the bigger program entails. So reason why I'm using this as a filtering system to allow people into the bigger program is because that community is so precious to me. And if people join and then fizzle out, and that doesn't serve the community. So if you show, that's why the bar is set so high in this program. You have to attend everything. You have to complete every step. And I know sometimes a schedule doesn't allow you to do that, but if that's the case for you, please let me know, and we can put you on the waiting list for the next one. Yes, Mariachi.
Maybe just to answer that last question from the other side. So a typical group session on a Thursday for the bigger community would be like a 10-minute thought-provoking input by Francois, and then usually some thought-provoking questions that you take time to answer. And then we kind of share our answers, and sometimes Francois would spotlight one of the questers and do kind of an, let's say, individual coaching within the session. But as you watch other people's answers and thought processes unfold, you also get some takeaways from that. So maybe just on a practical level, that's what the Thursdays look like. It's not necessarily the 10-minute thought-provoking input from Francois isn't necessarily based on something that I had been working on in the past week, but it definitely influences my thoughts and journaling or whatever in the coming week.
Thank you, Mariki. Yes, yes. Leanne also, it's like a support group community for further growth. Yeah, I guess you can frame it like that. But like Mariki just explained, I will maybe introduce a challenging concept aligned with a bigger quest in the beginning. And then you do an exercise, and or I'll ask who's moved one step further in their quest, completed an exercise, and I'll spotlight that person and coach them through the process of upgrading those answers. So that's what happens in those groups. Transformation, Leandre, that's what excites me most. Transformation. So you can ask these people. Sometimes I get emotional because of what people are able to accomplish, knowing where they started and knowing where I started. You saw my little image there. This one. Little office, starting out thinking, I want to help more people. I want to have a bigger impact, thinking I need all kinds of external stuff. It was all here. So that's helping people get that out is what excites me most. For me, I want you to take action because I know the power of this program and what it can do. And if you think about it, either you go through the program step by step and it is transformational, or you get your money back. So there's really no risk at all. Either you get exactly the results that you want, or you get your money back. So I don't want there to be any reason for you to say, the money, I don't want money to be the reason that you don't do this. I'm active therapy at the moment. Will this not be too much? I'm going to let the questers answer that one. Will it be too much?
I can only speak for me, but my experience with therapy was that in the session, a lot of work is being done on making sense of what has happened in the past. But with this, the sessions are very valuable, but the work is done when you look forward during the week to, okay, how am I going to implement that to become who I want to be? Because I'm not a victim of what happened. I am the creator and the master of what is going to happen. So to me, it's two different processes. And in my experience, it wouldn't be too much because I experienced the two completely different. But yeah.
I think I agree with that. So coaching is about, looking towards the future and attaining goals and shaping yourself into becoming the person that knows how to attain those goals. While therapy is something is maybe holding me back, I'm struggling with something and I need to revisit those things. What I can also say about therapy, and if you've been on my website, you'll see me mention it there. Sometimes revisiting the past keeps us stuck. So what we also address in the quest is the things that you started believing because of things that happened in the past. Because those things you believe today, because of you can change instantly and radically. So I don't think it will be too much, but also depends on your capacity.
My experience is that I received practical tools to move forward. And these tools, in applying them, it changed my mindset totally.
Thank you. Yeah. Arna, your thoughts on that?
I agree with Mariachi that it is different from conventional therapy. I've been through that. I know it's different, but the structure of the weekly exercise will help you to not get overwhelmed throughout your normal life and your normal duties and your normal therapy. Because of the structure of this, you will not get overwhelmed.
Thank you. Yeah, that's also an important thing. It's structured step by step, so as to not overwhelm you. Also, even if you join the bigger program, the next part is locked until you and I feel, all right, I've worked through this, I'm ready to take on the next part. Otherwise, you feel overwhelmed. I did a 30-day Clarity Quest challenge, 2021, I think. And that's kind of what I got from that. It overwhelms people if it's so much, so fast. All right, people, thank you very much. For those of you who signed up at 12 o'clock today, you'll get an email with the very first step to take. I'll be checking in with you. Your mentors will be assigned to you. And I'll see you next Tuesday at 8. Very excited. Thank you very much for your trust. And I will stand by my guarantee. If you show up and complete every step and at the end feel like, so. I don't want you to feel so. Then you'll get your money back. All right. Have a great day. Bye-bye.